You are one piece of equipment away from believing you can't start. And that belief is a lie. I want to tell you exactly what I had in my car the day I started my lawn care business, because it is probably less than what you already own right now. I'm Will Kelly. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Military Lawn Cuts. We run 3 locations across the North Dallas, Fort Worth market. We have close to 25 team members, and we are one of the fastest growing lawn care companies in the region. Our goal is to have over 10 locations, but none of that started with a truck and a trailer. It started with a Pontiac Grand Prix. That's right, a sedan, 4 doors, a trunk, and a back seat. That car was my entire lawn care setup. In the trunk, I had 1 push mower, that's it. No trimmer at first, no blower, just a mower and an old broom. I used to sweep clippings off the sidewalk and driveway. Eventually, I picked up an electric plug-in blower, and a weed eater showed up because a guy on Facebook Marketplace gave it to me for free. That was my equipment list: a mower, a broom, a blower, and a free weed eater from a stranger. Here's the mistake I see beginners make over and over and over again. They think they need the full setup before they can even start. A 60-inch zero turn, enclosed trailer, a wrap truck, a full trimmer, edger, backpack, blower lineup. They see that gear on YouTube and they think that's the entry point. It's not. That's the output of years of reinvesting into the business. Nobody starts there. I sure didn't. And by the end of this video, you're going to know exactly how to start with the minimum gear you already have access to in your fingertips, and know exactly when and how to upgrade without going into debt to do it. Let's talk about the difference. Most beginners think the problem is equipment. They think to themselves, I can't start because I don't have a trailer, I don't have a truck, I don't have a big mower, and that feels true, but it's not the real problem. The real problem is sequencing. You're trying to buy equipment before you have revenue to justify it. You're putting the cart in front of the horse. The gear doesn't come first. The client comes first. The money from that client is what buys the gear. Not a loan, not a credit card, not equipment financing. The lawn pays for the lawn equipment. That's the entire system. So let me walk you through exactly how I ran this and how you can run it too. Step 1. Start with the minimum, not the ideal. I did not wait until I had a truck to start mowing lawns. I started with what fit in a sedan. A mower in the trunk, that is the bar. If a push mower fits in your trunk or your back seat, you have enough to start. You do not need a truck. You do not need a trailer. You need 1 working mower and a willingness to show up and do hard work. Step 2, let your service radius shrink before your equipment grows. This is the part that nobody talks about. When I was running that Grand Prix, gasoline was literally spilling in my back seat. That is not an exaggeration. That's a real problem when your equipment hauler is also the car you drive your family in. So I had to make a decision. I had 2 or 3 clients that I could literally walk to. I got rid of the clients that were farther away, and I focused only on the ones within walking distance for weeks, then months. I wasn't trying to scale wide. I was trying to survive and stack cash. Your radius should match your equipment, not the other way around. If your equipment can only support 3 houses on your block, run 3 houses on your block and provide the best dang quality service that you absolutely can. Do not force distance you can't support yet. Step 3, every dollar those lawns make goes right back into the next piece of equipment. It's not a loan, not equipment financing, not a buy now, pay later plan. I took the money I made from those 2 or 3 walkable mowing clients that I serviced for many weeks and many months, and I took that money to buy the next piece of equipment. That is the whole principle. The lawns you're already running pay for the lawns you want to acquire next. If you don't have the cash yet, that means you're not buying it, period. That is the mindset. Step 4, know your actual upgrade signal. Most people upgrade because they feel like they should, or because they see someone else's equipment and get gear envy. That's the wrong trigger. My trigger to upgrade off the Grand Prix wasn't a feeling. It was a hard constraint. I still remember going to Harbor Freight and buying literally a wheelchair accessible cargo carrier on the, and my Grand Prix, it didn't have a hitch receiver. So I went to U-Haul, had it get installed for like $150, bought another $150 cargo carrier, put it on the back of my Grand Prix. First time I drove it over the street right next to my house, literally dragged across the street. And I was like, all right, well, $150 wasted, but yeah, clearly can't use this, okay? I was trying to get by with the minimum. Gasoline in the back seat, that is a real constraint. Losing customers I couldn't reasonably drive to anymore. That is a real constraint. You upgrade when the current setup is physically stopping you from doing the work. Not because a bigger setup would be nice to have. There's a lot of things in life that would be nice to have. Step 5, upgrade in order, not all at once. When I finally needed to haul more, I didn't go buy a truck and an enclosed trailer overnight. I went to the U-Haul, I got a hitch installed, and installed it on the Grand Prix. Bought the cargo hitch carrier and got started further. Right there, I learned something important. Not every upgrade works. Sometimes you try the cheap fix and it fails. And that's fine. That's data, not defeat. It told me the sedan had hit its ceiling and it was time to move on to buy a truck. But I only knew that because I tried the cheapest possible upgrade first, instead of jumping straight to the biggest one where I see most people fail. Here's the timeline so you understand how patient this actually requires you to be. I ran that entire trunk and Grand Prix setup for about 3 months. 3 months of walking 2 to 3 houses, gasoline spilling, brooms instead of blowers, a free weed eater from a stranger. 3 months before the real upgrade even happened. If you're on day 3 and frustrated that you don't have a truck yet, you, my friend, are not behind. You are exactly where you need to be and are exactly on the right schedule. I want you to drop something in the comments right now. Tell me the one piece of gear that you think you need before you can start or get you further in your journey of mowing lawns for money. What's holding you back? I want to see it. I want to know about it. I read every single one of these comments, and I promise you, whatever it is, there is a version of this business that can run without it. But maybe it does make sense. Maybe it does make sense for you to purchase it now. So here's what I want you to walk away with. You know exactly how to start with what you already have right now. Whether that's a sedan, an old truck bed, an old SUV, you could just buy a cargo hitch. You know the real problem was never the equipment. It was the sequence. Customer first, cash from that client second, then go and buy the equipment third. And you know your upgrade signal isn't a feeling. It's a hard constraint that's actually stopping you from doing more of the work. Don't buy the truck to look apart from everybody else. Buy the truck when the sedan is dragging on the pavement and you've got the cash sitting there to pay for it outright. Start small, be patient, let the lawns you already have buy the lawns you want next. Now go put whatever you've got into your trunk and go get your first client today. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel if you want to grow a more successful mowing business. Thanks so much, guys. We'll see you in the next video.